When you hear the name Lamborghini, you likely picture low-slung, brightly colored wedges moving at terrifying speeds. But before any of that existed, Ferruccio Lamborghini built machines like this, heavy iron chassis designed for the dirt. In the aftermath of World War II, Italy was rebuilding its entire infrastructure. The country was desperate for mechanical equipment, and Ferruccio knew how to supply it. He scoured the countryside for leftover military hardware and converted it into rugged farm implements, amassing a significant personal fortune in the process. With his new wealth, Ferruccio bought a Ferrari, but he found its mechanical reliability frustrating. The clutch was too weak for a high-performance road car, so he took his complaints directly to the man at the top of the automotive hierarchy, Enzo Ferrari. Ferrari dismissed the complaint entirely. He told Ferruccio to stick to driving tractors and leave the sports cars to him. It was a sharp, personal insult leveled at a man who prided himself on engineering competence. Ferruccio immediately began recruiting engineering talent to build a road car that was faster and more refined than anything built for the track. He wanted to deliver the mechanical integrity and usability he believed Ferrari had failed to provide. This is the 350 GT, released in 1964. It was the first physical proof of Lamborghini's capability. The visual language was distinctly traditional, a long hood housing a front-mounted V12 engine, flowing into a sleek fastback roofline with chrome details. There were no aggressive wings or sharp angles. This restrained design was entirely intentional. The goal was to prove the new company belonged in the elite luxury market alongside established Grand Tours. Inside, the cabin featured rich leather and superior ergonomics. The engine delivered smooth, reliable power. The execution matched Ferruccio's exact promise, an extraordinarily fast road car that was comfortable enough for long-distance travel. By the end of 1966, the company had delivered over 100 units of the 350 GT. This volume proved there was a hungry market for a more civilized alternative to the Maranello establishment, granting the company the financial breathing room to stop following industry trends. At the 1966 Geneva Motor Show, the public saw the Miura. The smooth, conservative lines of the 350 GT were replaced by a silhouette so low it made other sports cars look obsolete. This schematic shows the engineering shift that made that shape possible. The massive V12 engine was moved from the front of the car and mounted transversely, directly behind the driver's cabin. Moving the heavy engine block to the center allowed designers to plunge the front nose toward the asphalt. The mechanical layout forced a new, organic shape, tightly wrapping the metal around the rear wheels. Then came 1971. The Miura was beautiful, but the Countach prototype was a deliberate provocation. Every curve was eradicated, replaced by confrontational geometry. The windshield became entirely flat, and the doors swung directly upward. The Countach prototype looked so distinct from the era's rounded sedans that it appeared to be an intrusion from a different decade. Its sharp profile quickly moved from show floors to bedroom posters, becoming the definitive image of a supercar for an entire generation. The Miura introduced the mid-engine layout to the world, but the Countach weaponized it, establishing a firm rule that a flagship Lamborghini must prioritize theatricality above all else. Entering the 1990s required a new flagship. The Diablo retained the aggression of its predecessor, but wrapped a massive 5.7-liter V12 in smoother, more aerodynamic bodywork capable of exceeding 200 miles per hour. It also introduced four-wheel drive to the lineup. For the first time, a Lamborghini flagship was trying to harness its mechanical violence into something a driver could actually control in different conditions. By 2001, operating under Audi ownership, the company released the Murcielago, a vehicle defined by its muscular stance and enormous side intakes. The new corporate relationship brought deep engineering resources and manufacturing discipline. Build quality improved, yet the car retained the aggressive soul of a V12 Italian exotic. Maintaining a low-volume hand-built V12 lineup carried immense financial risk. To stabilize the business, the company introduced the Gallardo. This V10 model allowed for shared development costs and higher production volume, quickly becoming the best-selling model in the company's history. While the V12 flagships created the posters, the strategic scaling of the Gallardo created a business capable of surviving the future. The Aventador and Huracan represent the conclusion of a decade defined by high-displacement, naturally aspirated engines. These models pushed traditional V12 and V10 configurations to rev ranges exceeding 8,500 RPM, delivering immediate, raw response without the assistance of turbochargers. The styling became inspired by stealth aircraft. Sharp hexagonal details, Y-shaped lighting signatures, and massive expanses of exposed carbon fiber defined a highly technical presence. But the industry is currently undergoing a transition. Stricter emissions regulations and the shift towards silent electric powertrains pose a challenge to a company built on exhaust and noise. This schematic shows their answer. In the Revuelto, a 6.5-liter V12 remains in the center of the car, but it is now integrated with 3 high-output electric motors and a structural battery pack. They are using electricity to add instant torque and extreme power to the combustion engine. It is a test of whether they can adopt modern technology without losing their emotional identity. Look closely at the evolution, from an iron tractor to an elegant coupe to an angular wedge, and finally a digital-era hybrid. The technology and the owners have changed over 80 years, but the central argument remains intact. Lamborghini is defined by the absolute refusal to build an ordinary machine.